Okay, episode 70 on the Saudi Fitness Talk Show. It's been a while since we recorded, had a little mini break.
The last 3 episodes, we've said that.
I know.
But now I think we are genuinely back to consistency.
Yeah. Now we're going to get some consistency again. And today we are joined by Natalie Bristowe on the show today, which is great. Thank you very much for coming on the show and spending some time with us and braving it out on your Saturday morning. But Natalie, you are from your profile, I could see, so certified NLP practitioner. Yeah. There was hypnosis. Yeah, master hypnosis. So I thought maybe we could do a live hypnosis with Todd.
Oh wow!
I want you to just knock Todd out, basically.
Yeah, knock me out, make me run around naked or something. I don't know what you do.
But you're also here in Riyadh. You're with the pack.
Yes.
Yeah, doing spinning and reformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and life and mindset coach as well.
Wow.
Did I miss anything?
Very impressive. No, I think you've covered most of it there.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. So, you're pretty. We got chatting. Was it a couple of weeks ago? And I've been seeing this person because obviously our friend Lara, she's at the pack, and seeing you popping up on some of her stories, stuff like that, and just then seeing what you've been doing with the NLP and things like this. Very intrigued to kind of hear more about your background, your practices, and everything else. So maybe you can start with a brief sort of story of how you got into all this and everything.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you very much for having me. Very honoured to be in this very premium studio.
The most premium.
Yeah, premium. Yeah. Premium.
Very luxy. So I got into doing what I'm doing actually I think everyone who usually is in the sort of mindset coaching space has come from some kind of story and experience in working through themselves. And actually throw back to about maybe 9 years ago, I was working in events and I absolutely loved it. It was so fun in London, but it was really full on like
corporate events.
Yeah. And I had the most amazing team and really, really enjoyed it, but a lot of late nights, and it was a lot of whining and dining, which at the time was sort of straight out of uni.
It's probably nice initially, isn't it?
Yeah,
that first 5 years is fun. You're out of uni, you're going here, you're going there,
Totally.
Yeah.
And you live a life that, because you're paid peanuts, but you live this life that you just would never live otherwise, because of all these places you're taken to. And I loved it, but then suddenly I was beginning to notice that there was a values misalignment, and I no longer enjoyed or found the joy out of going to all of these networking events and hotels and stuff. And so I'd gotten really into spin, and I remember I went to a class at this studio in London, and actually at the time, I don't know if I can say this, but I was quite hungover.
Of course,
you can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
You swear.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. It's fine. We're in an undisclosed location.
Yeah. Don't know where we are.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know where we are.
Yeah. It's called the Saudi Fitness Talk Show, but don't worry, it's fine. It's fine.
My brother and I were living together at the time, and we'd had a house party, and then the next morning he was like, Nat, should we go to this spin class? And I was like, why would we do that? Turns out that one of the girls, his friend who had persuaded him to come along, is now his wife, so it all makes sense.
But dragged you along for support.
Yeah,
smart.
Exactly.
Very smart.
But I went to this class and just could not keep the beat. I don't know if you've seen Trainwrecked with Amy Schumer, who flies off the bike.
I saw it out the corner of my eye because my wife was probably watching it, and I was like, I just saw it, but I didn't watch it. It's not like I watched the whole thing.
You sound very guilty.
Yeah,
I'm not judging. There's no judgment in this space. But that was literally me. And then I'd bought sort of an intro pack of 3 classes. So I was like, well, I've paid for it now. I'll go back. And I just remember after the second or third class, just feeling so euphoric. And I was like, I just would love to make someone feel like this one day. So I decided to just get really into classes and got the consistency, and then decided I wanted to do my spin qualification. So I did my PT training and my fitness instructor.
How long was that after that period then? A year or something? Or?
So that was, I think after about maybe 6 months, I was like, I'm going to do this. And then it took me a year to do all of my, by the time, I think I set my New Year's resolution. I don't even know when it was, 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And to get my spin qualification, and I was teaching by September.
Okay.
So got into that, and then I was my work were really accommodating of it, and I'd teach in the mornings. I just sometimes run out at lunch and teach class, and sometimes evenings. So I was just burning the candle at all ends. And during that time, I met my fiance, who is from New Zealand, and we'd kind of spoken about how we'd love to move to Sydney at some point. And I was sort of making the decision that I really wanted to leave the event space and move into the kind of wellness space. And all I wanted to do was move to Sydney, teach spin, and work at Lululemon. I was like, I just want a simple life. And as we were sort of planning to make that move, I then actually got diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, which is kind of you're identified with that as a process of elimination. So there's not a blood test you can do that says you've got chronic fatigue, but it's not certain things, and you hit certain criteria, and they sort of just put this.
What are some of the symptoms of that? And obviously, feeling tired is going to be one of the fatigue in the name.
Chronic fatigue.
That's
the symptom.
Yeah, chronically tired. But no, I would have like a constant, a permanent headache. Often felt a lot of nausea, a lot of dizziness. I'd kind of go through highs and lows. So I'd teach class, I absolutely love it, and then just come crashing down. And it kind of felt like my head was in this permanent black cloud. And I just couldn't work it out, because I was like, my life is amazing. Like I'm living the best life. I've got great friends, a great family. I'm, doing sports. I should feel good. But then just one day my batteries just went to 0%, and I went to the doctor, and he was like, you've got chronic fatigue and there's no cure other than rest. And he was like, and it could take up to 7 years. And I was like,
thanks.
I know.
Cheers.
I was like, good for someone who's just decided.
Was this a GP you saw, yeah?
Yes.
General practitioner, yeah.
Do they have any medication for it, or there's
no, not really. I think there are some things that you can take, like I didn't go down that route, but blockers or something.
Beta blockers.
Yeah. But we'd just decided to move to Sydney to pursue a life of health and fitness. Years rest. I was like, I can't. So then I did this massive healing journey and tried everything, like meditation. I did a raw food diet. I saw energy healers. I did.
Were you fruitarian for a little bit?
I was a bit of a fruit. Is that just fruit only?
Yeah.
Well, fruit and veg. I mixed
fruit and veg. Okay.
I did that for a bit, which was intense.
And
then I found this incredible 3-day brain training program.
Okay.
Where I essentially learned to rewire my mind, identify my belief system and begin to shift some of those beliefs. And essentially I had been falling into patterns where, I had developed social anxiety and was so afraid of, if I go out, I'll go to this event and I'll get tired and I won't be able to talk to anyone, and then I'll wake up the next day and I'll be really tired and I won't be able to have a break. And
it's
all of that happening before I'd even gone to this
Before you'd done anything,
So I was exhausted by the thought of it.
Just the thought of it,
and so I began to shift kind of my belief system, which influenced how I felt and influenced kind of what was going on in my body, and then how I was able to behave. And within 3 days, I already began to feel a transformation. And by the end of the 3 days, I had taught a class off the bike, which was amazing and really exciting and inspiring to, or motivating to be actually, I actually can move to Sydney and do this. So I then was able to move out a few months later to Sydney and started teaching, and then got stuck in COVID.
Australia was probably the worst place.
Strict there, wasn't it?
Well, actually, I was so grateful to be there because I was still sort of coming out of this phase.
Yeah, out of that.
It was quite nice because we were right by the beach. I could go for walks, kind of one-on-one, and really get to know people. And and I started teaching, and we rented out all the bikes at the studio, and then I went in and filmed. And then I had all this time. I was so curious about the power of the mind and wanted to understand that more.
So you did a lot of self-work during that time.
I did a lot of self-work and got onto this coaching program and ended up doing coaching certification, and the course I did outsourced NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and it was all kind of online, very word heavy. And as I was reading it, I realized that these are all the techniques that helped me in that 3 days. So I was I know that this stuff is powerful. So then I went on to study it with a specific kind of NLP school when we were kind of on the other side of lockdown, when we could go in. So I did my NLP practitioner training, my master practitioner training, and then my trainer's training in NLP, timeline therapy and hypnotherapy. So and so I've been coaching and teaching for a couple of years now.
So I mean, that just feels like kind of COVID for you actually came at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, for a lot of people who went through, you know, COVID, it was like, I think, you know, we saw it from aesthetics point of view. People either gained a lot of weight or lost a lot of weight. From a psychological, people were really, you know, were okay with that time period to work like you, make use of the time, or they really struggled with that amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, but a lot of that has to do with kind of your mindset as well, and how productive you are with that time, and how you kind of look at things. You look at it, the cup half empty or half full.
100%.
You know, right, I've got 8 hours now, or all this time a day, you know, let's make the most of this. I'm going to go on walks now. I'm really going to look after myself. I remember I was like training twice a day, and I would really structure out my day, you know, all this sort of stuff. And it was fine, you know. And then because we were literally could only walk in our little compound for 3 months here. But again, some people, they really just, you know, they just lost it, you know, and they really struggled with that. And maybe for you, that was just like, kind of fell at the right time to have some, like, right, you got to be in one place. Yeah. You got to focus on yourself. Kind of from everything you were saying, like, I know from like, especially like spinning and all this stuff where you're rushing around all the time. It's very light energy, always moving, and need something just to kind of ground you a little bit. Let the dust settle. Yeah. You know, when you're doing spinning, it's going, then your events, I imagine you're going all the time. Texting, you know, it's just non-stop, hardly, you know, 6 hours sleep, maybe something like that, 5-6 hours. And sometimes either your body will just force you to rest. Yes. You know, to let everything settle and readjust, reset, and then go again for the next push or whatever it is. And you know, it just sounds like, you know, from what you were saying, just that period of COVID, you know, kind of was the period where you could do that, spend some time just working on yourself. Yeah, 100%. And I think I was also like trying to understand like who I am now and like re-identify myself, because I had made such a, you know, I used to love like to go out and party, and it was a transition period. Yeah, it was a transition period. And I was quite grateful for the time and being in that kind of setting.
And tell us about the NLP stuff. I have no idea what that is, to be honest. Yeah, they just told me about it now. Yeah.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Sounds like manipulation. It's like what the CIA would use or something. Yeah, MI6.
Yeah, it's a torture technique.
I mean,
so what is it? You know what? Yeah, you told us how you got into
fundamentals of it.
What the principles, fundamentals? Yeah.
Yeah. So it does sound. I mean, it can actually be used as a manipulation technique. So if it's used with integrity, it can be an incredibly powerful tool. But essentially, it's a selection and series of techniques that are designed to create positive behavioural change. So there are so many different techniques that come under it. Yep. So it's all about kind of rewiring the mind at the unconscious level and changing some of those neurological pathways, so that when something happens which once might have triggered you to respond in a rational way, suddenly the meaning of that changes for you, and so it doesn't create and produce that automatic response. It gives you space to choose how you respond. So some of the techniques include reframing. For example, you know, someone could say, "Oh, it's raining outside. This is so rubbish. My whole day's ruined. I can't do anything." Whereas someone else could look at it through a lens of, "It's raining outside. What an amazing opportunity for me to do all the things that I never have time to do." Yeah. And so, you know,
do some indoor activities and do this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many things outside of our control, but we always have a choice in how we choose to respond to any situation. Also, the use of language is really powerful. So when so using the example of the word tired, you know, the word tired to someone could mean, okay, I just need to go to bed and have a good sleep and I'll wake up and I'll be absolutely fine. But when I had chronic fatigue, that word was incredibly triggering. And the thought, I would say the word tired, I'd think about being tired, and it produces an internal representation, which is my
stress
perception.
response.
Yeah. And that would create like a physiological response in my body and like produce, like anxiety within me. And so being able to use different language in a way that doesn't set off that response. Other things like when, just talking to some clients, I'll be like, what's going on for you? They'll be like, I feel so overwhelmed. And I'm like, what's overwhelming you? Everything. These words hold much weight. And if you think, everything in your life is wrong, that's heavy. It feels heavy. So let's begin to kind of unpack
refine
that.
it.
And when you can begin to kind of pull it apart, you see that actually suddenly it's not everything.
Yeah,
so
refine it, filter it, because not everything is wrong. There's always good, but that's it. We tend to focus on the negative stuff.
Totally. And we have a negative bias anyway. We're looking out to protect ourselves, but sometimes it's like there's just no threat. So
it's counterintuitive a lot of the time. It just slows you down, or you can't progress, or you can't,
Yeah.
But that's what, I've from what NLP, I haven't done it, but I've heard from it, from like Tony Robbins used to talk about it, and like, associated with something with like sales, kind of hijacked, I think, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So they can kind of try and, again, reframe and for sales and, all that sort of side. But from the sounds of it, it has its roots a little bit more, authentic, I would say, from it. Because I think, from what you see, a lot of salespeople, whether it's in real estate, whatever, they go through the courses to try and
sell more.
Sell more, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what they're doing for you in that is they're building up a picture of, your perfect home, or like how the product's going to be perfect for you. Because, as we think, it creates this internal representation, which is intimately coupled with the feeling
emotional
in your
response,
body, and then your physiology, and all of that leads to your behavior. So if you're focusing on what you want, you're more likely to take action towards it
than what you actually need.
And then the hypnosis stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get into that? Is that in the same?
Is that part of NLP?
Or?
Yeah. So that's that was part of timeline NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy are all quite closely related, and the school that I studied with did all three modalities. And hypnotherapy, I love that you said, make me run around naked, and I think people have this kind of perception of
the swinging stopwatch,
the clock. The swinging thing, and like someone's going to get you up on stage and get you to quack like a duck and like do all of these things. Like the people who tend to do that are the ones who are more suggestible anyway. Like on a night out, they're the ones who are going to be first to get up and do karaoke. They love the limelight.
I suppose like my wife, because my wife's a psychotherapist, so everyone thinks, she's going to manipulate you. So the same sort of like dogmatic response, like with hypnosis, get the thing out swinging, all this sort of stuff. So,
but it's not like you're always in control of your mind, and you're always in control of what you choose to accept and what you reject. And hypnotherapy is essentially getting you to a state of like deep relaxation where you open yourself up to suggestion. When you're like really stressed out and someone's like, have you considered doing this? And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, and you just can't accept it. Like nothing lands when you're in that state. But when you're in a state of calm and you've had some time to just
more open to things,
then you can begin to open yourself up and become,
and build trust as well. You got to trust the person, whoever's
absolutely. That's like number one in hypnotherapy. If you don't have trust.
So how do you build trust with people, rapport with people quickly?
Well, there are that's also comes under, that's one of the big things in NLP. There are so many amazing ways.
I'm just thinking of like coaches, obviously coaches, when you have a new client, you've got to build trust ASAP. Show them that they can trust you. And that means they'll probably be more receptive to what you're going to offer them or say to them, and advise, and all these other things, the programs you're going to give them or whatever it is.
Totally. Well, there are some obvious ways of doing it, finding a connection point and doing more like conscious ways of building rapport. Where did you like grow up? Or like, we know this person, let's find something mutual to talk about. But there are other ways that you can do it, like matching and mirroring. So if you're
body language,
I can do the same.
And
it's actually a really powerful way, leading and pacing as well. So if you're talking to a client and they're really kind of a bit anxious and talking really fast, you can begin to match their pace. So get onto their same level and talk really fast or talk at their pitch.
Make them super anxious.
Just go with them.
Just shouting at them.
And then once you're sort of on the same thing, you can then begin to slow down, and they'll like automatically come with you. So there are some quite powerful ways you can build rapport at the unconscious level without them really being aware of it as well. So.
And do you think people will do that naturally anyway? Like mirroring and things? Like, as in, obviously, if they're doing it naturally to you, do people sometimes just sink up into that?
Yeah.
If they're getting along?
Yeah, definitely. Like, when you meet someone, you're like, I just feel like we just had this.
We just got along, or we had a connection.
Yeah. And so
it's all the subconscious stuff, basically.
Yeah. And then I think people who find it more, uncomfortable, or they don't find it as easy, are probably more kind of standoffish and like closed off to. They're not aware of basically this technique and modality that they can work with.
Okay.
I think it's a huge area, though. I think from a coach's standpoint, I think more coaches should go into and study like this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's like we say with it's the soft skills stuff.
Yeah,
that is it's a soft skill, isn't it?
And awareness, isn't it? It's just that awareness of what the physical aware, what your body language is saying. Because what's the stat? 70-80% is non-verbal communication. Of communication is non-verbal, and we have so many people. You're from from your side of the research background. You have so many guys who are they go through university, do the masters, even PhDs. They write all the research, but they've never even coached anyone, and they can't even then deliver the message to a person. You may write the best programs in the world, with the best exercises, the best periodization, the best all this sort of stuff, diet routine, but you can't convey that or get the other person you're trying to push it towards to acknowledge it or even buy into it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Now they're like, well, why should I do that? Why should I eat this? Like, they just don't get it, even though it may be the best thing.
No, and a lot of NLP is kind of storytelling and metaphors and stuff, and communicating in a way that lands. Basically we all communicate differently and have different representations. So a lot of people are audio learners, a lot of people are visual, a lot of people are kinesthetic. So when you can really begin to understand how someone kind of responds or learns, you can change your language, you can change how you communicate in a way that is actually received by them. And that's it, just being aware of those different modalities of learning. Like you see with coaching, like you say things or you show things, or you put them into the kinesthetic, you put them into positions. Obviously with Pilates, I know that's a big thing you use with helping people to get in the right position kinesthetically, right back, in this position, ribs down, or whatever it's going to be, you know what I mean? But having those options and trying to find out quickly which one's going to work best for the client in front of you, because you can waste so much time trying to show someone something, but you're just telling them, right, get into this position, they're like, I have no idea. No idea what you're doing.
It doesn't register at all.
100%.
You know what I mean? The coaching styles that you need to get into. But I think it's something that, I remember when I did the Exos, what was athlete performance back then. That was really enlightened me, that course. They're an American company. They do a lot of like NFL and NBA, like sports coaches at S&C, like all this stuff. And they do all the combine, all these guys. And when I did their courses, that's when they really highlighted the importance of coaching and just, all the kind of science and, behind it, and then going through it and really, heavy on that coaching side and improving that, because, again, if you can't get through to someone and they just don't understand it, you're wasting so much time. And you're just slowing down the results and, everything else, that whole process, and just probably causing that person a lot of frustration. I know, like when I've been coached by people in the past, I just don't know what you want. I don't get it. Like, why am I doing this? And the best kind of cohort for this is kids. Oh, it's something we should learn like, when we're kids. Why do I do this? No,
100%. I mean, I love, I think it's Tony Robbins' quote, like, we'll never leave our pain behind until we see value in something greater. So unless what is on the other side of that comfort zone, like, truly motivates and inspires you, like, why on earth would you step outside of it? And
that's always a thing, people, I think, I remember Hormozy talks about this, Alex Hormozy, I don't know if you know him.
No.
He's always a businessman.
Business guy.
Yeah, business guy. And he talks a lot about this kind of like, if you want to get anywhere in life, obviously there's a lot of stuff like incentives and having the carrot dangle in front of you sort of thing, where you're chasing something, you know, you're trying to trace after something. But you know what the biggest incentive is fear and pain. And when someone's actually chasing you, you know, or you're falling towards something, you know, and often, you know, I want to be rewarded for this and that and this, but actually, you know, the biggest driver emotionally is fear and pain. Yeah. To get out of something. And that's why you see with so many, I don't know, millionaires, billionaires, successful people anyway, often they come from not much. Yeah. You know, because they've had the pain, they've had the fear, oh, how can I even eat tonight? Can I even eat tonight? Or whatever it is, I've come from this background, and being able to run away from that. Yeah. You know, and not go back, rather than, you know, just having, oh, there's a paycheck at the end of the month or whatever, or the bonus, you know, people who have more fear and take more risks, essentially, you know, to get that you know, bigger drive out of people. Yeah, that's comes into NLP as well. People who are move towards or move away from, and you know, understanding that can help you kind of motivate them. Yeah. In a way that lands as well. It's a bit like me with running, to be honest. That's why I say to people, it's like, I don't know, some people say, "How do you run?" I was like, no, not really. I only run if I'm being chased. That's you know, because I used to play rugby, so I was like, you know, I always needed incentive to run. You know what I mean? It's if I'm chasing someone or someone's chasing me, you know. Yeah. But for me, just to go on a jog is very rare, unless I just, you know. I like running outside. Do you like running? I have definitely got the running bug at the moment. Yeah? I'm loving it. You went the marathon, weren't you? Not the full marathon, but I mean you participated. Yes, yeah. But I listened to your podcast. What was with Ehsan? Ehsan, yeah. Felt very inspired. So I think I'm going to do the 2-week marathon. I've never done a marathon, but did the Alula half trail, which was incredible and very challenging. Someone was like, it's just 5k of sand, and I was like, it was definitely over 50% sand. You did it, in Alula, Which was, have you been to Alula? Yeah, but not for ages. I went when I first came here back in 2019 or 2020. I think I went early 20 before the lockdowns. We went there, and it was the first season of Alula, so it was still very raw and disorganized and all over the place. But we saw Elephant Rock, and we did all the main stuff. It's just stunning. It's stunning, yeah. Absolutely loved it. No, that was amazing. So there's a group of us in the compound that I live in, and in I think so. I moved in August, and I think in October we started a little kind of girls run club to begin with, and we were so slow. Like I've run in the past, but then I usually like hurt my knees and then like stop for a year. Yeah. And we were unbelievably slow. Like, I mean, I think my walk is faster than my run when we started. There's actually how many women are you? How many together? There are about 5 of us. Yeah, because you're all chatting. You're all just talking. No, we had rules. Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, I've seen some of these run clubs.
No frappuccinos.
No matches as well.
No matches.
No matches. No talking. It was strictly earplugs in.
Yeah, whatever. That's not a run club. Whatever. Yeah.
But we started super slow, and then we decided we'll sign up to the 10k 2-week, which was in November, and it was amazing. We were so consistent. We ran 2 or 3 times a week in the mornings. Did the 10k, and then like time improved significantly, my ability to run for longer, and then we signed up to the Alula, did that, and then a week, I think it was a week or 2 weeks after the Alula was the Riyadh Marathon, and I was meant to be teaching spin on the Saturday, so I wasn't going to be able to do it. And then we had the Riyadh Active event on the Friday, and it turned out that we had to cancel my spin class because the roads were going to be closed for the run. Okay. And so, because I had FOMO, I'd run 15k that morning because I was like, I want to do a long run and I want to feel like I'm, I've got the buzz with everyone else. And then we cancelled the spin class at like 6 p.m. that night, and my friends had pulled out of the half marathon, so I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to do it. And it was so fun, like the
you literally the night before then,
and so signed up to it and did that. So I'm just definitely got the bug. And in Alula me and my friend ended up buying a really fancy pair of sunglasses, so we were like, oh, well, we've got all the gear now, and we have
the runner's sunglasses,
runner's sunglasses, visor, all the gear, no idea.
All the gear, no idea. I know we had to get like the run vest. you know, so I just, I was like, well, now I've got the kit. I've just got to look like I know what I'm doing.
I heard from a couple of people that Alula was tough. Like, it was hills and, you know, and the terrain is obviously not easy.
So, I know, and I bought a new pair of trail running shoes, and because obviously got to have all the gear.
Got to have all the gear.
And I was going down this kind of rubbly bit, and this guy, and I had my headphones in, and this guy stopped, and I was I wanted to protect my ankle, so I was just sort of going a little bit slowly down here, and this guy kind of tapped me and was like, "Are you okay?" And my headphone like fell out, and I was like, "Sorry, is everything?" And he was like, "Are you okay? Because you just look like really unsteady." And I was like, "These are my trail running shoes."
Excuse me. Yeah.
I was like, "Who do you think you are?"
You're like a giraffe, like Bambi.
I did. I must have looked like Bambi. I was. He like went out of his way to stop me to check if I was
mid-race.
okay.
Had to stop you.
Yeah,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I was like, "Have you seen my glasses?"
Huge glasses, like ultra runner, you know.
But just all over the place.
Yeah, it was quite humbling. I was like, okay.
And do you do? So you coach or teach Pilates as well?
So teach reformer.
Yeah, where did that journey start from?
Yeah, so we moved. So
was that in Sydney?
That started in Sydney, but it was all very last minute. So basically, I was speaking to the Pack, which is where I teach, and they brought me over they wanted to bring me over as a spin instructor. Okay. And then because I was going into a contract and being employed, I was going to be teaching like a lot more classes, and I you know, over 6 or 7 spin classes a week, to be honest, for me is enough.
Too much.
And so I was like, I think I need to learn something else. But we left Sydney in April, and I signed up to this reformer class, which was a reformer training course, which was 7 days of training. Literally like the week before we left. Yep. So I left it all like really last minute. So I did that, and then I came back to the UK for a bit whilst I was getting my visa sorted and everything, and just did all the observation and participation and all my hours then. And then about 3 weeks into moving here in August, I started teaching. So quite new.
So still new, yeah.
Quite new to reformer, but absolutely love it. It's like the perfect complement to spin as well. Yeah.
Slower, more controlled, and get some range of motion in your joints.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really helped with just like running as well, and just doing day-to-day things. I feel so much stronger for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you go to the gym as well, aside from that? You know, like do strength training or?
Yeah, so I am getting into strength training. It's just finding the time, like how can I organise my schedule so that I'm not being
Compound
ridiculous.
got a good place? Which compound are you in?
The Orient.
Orient one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, they've got all the. Actually, it was quite funny because I obviously got my PT qualification years ago, which was 7 or 8 years ago, but I've never actually done any personal training. I did it purely because I'd kind of got the fitness instructor one. I was like, well, I've got the knowledge, let's just do the whole thing. But it was always with the intention of just teaching spin. So I did a bit of strength training, and then I just was like, I'm just on the spin brigade here, so I'm just going to do that. Anyway, I started this, I downloaded this app, and I'm doing this strength training program at the moment, and I had to use one of the leg machines in the gym. And I run Pilates classes in my compound just twice a week, just to build a bit of a community and stuff. And so people know me for teaching that, so they assume that I know exactly what I'm doing. And I was in the gym trying to use this bloody leg machine. I
was it leg press?
Not work it out.
Leg
it
extension,
was
leg go.
Like the
leg extension.
Leg extension. Yeah. And I honestly, I just could not work out how to use it, and I was tinkering away, and I was like, I had my headphones in, thinking no one could. When you're you're like, I'm in my own little world, and no one can hear me. And this girl came up to me. She was like, "Do you need help?" I was like,
it seems like, Natalie, you get this quite a lot, that you look like you're in distress.
You're just
whether it's the running, whether it's the gym.
Yeah, are you okay?
Are you okay?
I know, I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I'm a fraud. That's what's going on here.
Certified PT. Leg extension, no idea. Don't know what that is.
Can't use.
Walk around.
Yeah. Running. Suck, can't do it. But you look like when they see you on the start line, they're like, "This girl is."
This is why it's pictures only on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just a picture, not a video. Just picture. We've got to be in the action shot.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
But God, see a video.
I know, and I walk into the gym with my gels.
Yeah.
Yeah, like professional. Like us actually with the podcast. Looks super good.
Wow.
actually dreadful, really.
No, it was quite a humbling experience. I was like, I definitely need help. I don't know what I'm doing. But it actually was a really good experience because it's
NLP. I see what you're doing.
Nice.
I've already spotted it.
Nice little reframe. Because it reminded me what it feels like. Because spin is still very new here. Very new here, yeah. And you know, people come in and you know, they're so scared to try spin. They're really intimidated. And I'm like, why? Like, come, it's just fun. Like, you don't even have to do anything that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Just
it's all you control everything, you know?
Yeah, but I forget that, like, actually walking into a completely new environment is intimidating. It is scary. Yeah. And so it was a good experience for that, and being like, actually, it brought me back down to kind of earth and be like, not everyone knows what they're doing, and I can maybe...
No, it's new. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Even like music is a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, like having music, like a lot of gyms now still don't have music in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean?
Silent. Yeah.
And they don't, even their classes have no music.
Mad.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it's crazy, right?
Imagine doing spin to no music.
I can't.
Or do beatboxing.
Just horrible sounds.
You have to do beatbox.
I went through a phase of life where I loved rapping.
Yeah.
And, I honestly was like...
When was this phase of
in
life?
London, I bet.
Yeah, well, I was...
In
I
London?
mean, I wasn't good.
Early
Obviously,
20s?
I've got like the poshest accent in the world, and it was like me trying to be, you know, from the hood, and it was just awful. And actually, I was thinking about it this morning.
The hood of Surrey, yeah?
The hood of Surrey.
The hood of Surrey. It's rough. And streets are rough.
Or the royal counties where I'm from.
Yeah. The royal counties.
Yeah, Bucks. Bucks and Barks.
But no, I was thinking about how when I first got my spin qualification, it's kind of like a driving license. You get your license and you're like, I'm ready to go, and like you're just not.
You're so not.
And I went. There was a studio that I loved in London, and I still absolutely love it. And my dream was to teach there one day.
Yep.
And they had auditions coming out, and you had to send in a video. And I honestly, if like anyone's ever having a shit day, I might share this with you because it is so embarrassing. And I did a rap, telling them why they wanted me. Anyway,
in the studio.
So just from my laptop at home.
This is fucking brilliant.
Did this rap and then.
Do you remember any of the rap right now?
I can't. No.
She does, but she will not do it.
I will not.
The first line, even.
Yeah. Fire in the booth.
No, I can't because I
palms are sweaty.
Actually, they actually are. They are sweaty. You're not wrong there. But
that's all I know about.
I just have this like image of them all sitting, like watching this video. Just
3 executives watching. Yeah, just going.
And
who is
like,
this idiot?
Let's bring the whole team in to laugh at this absolute idiot.
Yeah.
So never got a reply.
It's good. It's character building.
It is character building.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Build a thick skin. You got to build that rhino skin.
Yeah, that was. You have rhino skin. Yeah.
I think I do actually. I think from all those experiences. And I went to another audition in London and turned up, and again I'd literally just got my qualification and walked in, and I was working in events at the time, and one girl was like, I've just come over from Dubai, I'm a wellness coach, I've been teaching spin in Dubai. And then there was this guy who was like, I own a dance studio in New York, and I'm a dancer. And someone was like, I've just started this on the West End. And I was like, what?
I can do a fucking rap, boys. Let's go. Check this out.
So that was lots of humbling experiences.
But you got to go through that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the thing. Like so many people, I think, try and avoid that. I think especially now, like how things are going more digital, and you don't go through that. Like sitting in the waiting room with other people like that. Now it's all online auditions, and you just talk to the camera and then you send it off. And, but going through some of that stuff is that's where you really like. It's that very beginning stage where you're so unconsciously. Yeah, you're at the point even unconsciously incompetent. You don't realize like how incompetent you are at the moment, but you've done the course, you're all excited, right, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And then you just but you need to then just get like hammered
destroyed.
Down. Destroyed. Like, and then you're like, okay, right, now I know where I am. Now I'm consciously incompetent.
Yes.
I'm at the bottom of the ladder.
Now I realize where I am in this, ladder as such. And I need to work on that. I need to focus on this. I need to do that. And then you go from
100%.
there. But some people just live in this dream world of totally no idea where they are and think they're amazing or whatever,
or they're so afraid of failure or making mistakes that they don't give themselves the opportunity.
True, and that's more common, isn't it?
And I actually use that in like when I'm teaching, you know, if you think about everything that you have achieved, anything that you've accomplished, anything that you're proud of, and you look back and reflect on the journey that it took towards achieving that, it wasn't just kind of handed to you. It didn't just happen. It took, you know, a huge amount of like self-discovery and belief and commitment and discipline, and it took so many challenges that you overcame, and that is what brings that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. It's not just like, you know, snapping your fingers and it being there. And so I love using spin, like using that kind of metaphor in spin, being like, you can do hard things, and actually if you challenge yourself in this class and just add a bit more resistance, or give yourself the opportunity to lean into that discomfort, you begin to build up your evidence bank for your ability to move through discomfort and move through challenges, and you get to the other side, you grow. So yeah, I think that that all those challenges become a huge part of your story and are very, very important.
Yeah. Do you like talk about discomfort and all that? Are you into like the cold plunges and like this sort of stuff?
So I did go through a phase of that luckily I have a friend in the compound who's like a plunge diehard. So actually Kim.
Oh yeah, she's on the podcast next week.
Yeah. Oh, is she?
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she comes to all our events. She's great.
She is fab.
She is mental though. 4-degree water or 3-degree water.
I know.
I mean, we go to the arena, and
what
that's like 15.
Yeah, my penis.
11 at most.
My penis doesn't recover. It's awful. It's terrible. It's
just 11 degrees water.
It's brutal, honestly.
I remember going to Hampstead Heath once.
Hampstead Heath?
Yeah,
I know Hampstead Heath. Yeah.
So Hampstead Heath with a friend of mine who was big into fasting and cold plunge and Wim Hof and like all this stuff. He's out of that phase now, but
everyone goes through it.
Yeah, everyone goes through it. And he took me one Saturday morning. It was during winter. It was like February or something like this. Awful. And obviously we did all the Wim Hof breathing, you know, all that sort of stuff, which didn't help. I was still freezing.
Yeah, just get really lightheaded.
Still knocked the life out of me. We went in and they were like, oh yeah, and you know, like Hampstead, it's all outdoor changing rooms. There's no hot showers. There's no heat anywhere near.
Yeah.
Like
No.
You can't get. There's nothing warm.
Just his car. It's just like And
I see all these older gentlemen just diving in the pond.
they don't feel anything.
And they're just they go there every morning.
drunk.
They do their lengths in the heath, and they're just there. I was like, oh, okay, this is And then I saw that and then on the whiteboard, or I think it was a blackboard even, and chalk, and they were like, you know, if the water was 5 degrees, and I was like, that seems pretty cold. And my friend, you know, because he's a douchebag, they have a diving board. He just jumped in. It was just like fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to go the slow way. So I went down the ladder, put one first. Oh my God.
It's the worst way to do it.
And I just clung on and I started like almost hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Almost. Even though I'd already just been hyperventilating with Wim Hof.
Double.
Yeah.
And double whammy. And I was in there for like 30 seconds, I think. And I got out, and then I was just so cold. And it was cold, obviously, the air, and I couldn't get warm. And I spent the whole day just cold.
Yeah. No, we used to do it
Never again.
We used to surf and body surf in like Bournemouth Beach. That's where I'm from, down in Bournemouth. And the only time there's any waves is the winter. It's just like December. So you have to go November, December, January, sometimes February.
Everyone says this. Oh, it's warmer. The sea's warm in the winter.
Yeah, lie. Total
not.
lie. It's just not. It's freezing. Like, so we have wetsuits and things.
Yeah.
But then obviously, I didn't have any gloves, which is the worst. It's just awful.
Yeah.
So you'd be out there for hours, and you're kind of all right once you get in. You get water in your wetsuit. You start to warm up a bit, but your hands are just slowly crippling and dying. And then you get out of the water, you run up the beach, just struggling, you know, because when the wind hits you, it's really cold.
Oh my gosh.
And you can't open your hands. Your hands are like this, just for
like
hours.
rigor mortis.
Yeah, just rigor mortis, fully just locked in. I remember just being under this shower, and the shower is just cold water, but it's hot compared to the sea. And I'm just like this, just hoping my hands will open. Yeah, like a claw, just tingling, awful. But
my gosh, yeah.
it was quite fun. I was only probably like 13 doing that.
Todd used to be a really good swimmer.
Really?
Very good swimmer.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's the first compliment. 2 years, maybe.
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Big moment.
Yeah. I'm so. Oh my God. Yeah. But Cold water.
Cold, but no, Kim, she smashes that every morning.
yeah.
But she's been doing. She's done it. What now? I think she's done a week or 2 weeks now, something like this. She was doing it before as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was broken.
It was broken for a while, and then when we were doing it together, it was like 7 degrees, which I was like, this is
that was a bath for her.
Bath.
The first one I did with her, I got in for 30 seconds, and I got out, and I burst into tears. And I was
crying,
like,
just crying.
Too much. And then we built it up, and I did get to 2.5 minutes. I was quite proud.
Good.
And then it broke, and then I was like, oh, the sauna's actually quite nice.
The sauna's actually way nicer.
Yeah. Switcheroo.
Do you go back and forth between cold and sauna? Or?
Well, I did it a bit, but I haven't used the plunge for a while. But I think I think it's fixed now, but it's 3 degrees, and to be honest,
it's too much.
I haven't quite.
Yeah.
I think with cold is you actually adapt to it very
You do.
You keep doing it, you adjust really quickly to it.
Yeah.
You get up to 2 minutes quickly, can't you?
Yeah.
It does feel amazing actually, and it does like build your resilience for sure.
Yeah. Who was I watching yesterday? Oh yeah, do you know John Jones from the UFC?
Yeah.
He hates cold water, and that guy is one of the toughest guys. He's probably the GOAT of UFC.
Yeah, he's like nah,
and he can't. He just I don't know.
Happily get kicked in the head.
I happily get kicked in the face.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Not going there.
He's just like no.
Yeah.
I went in a sauna the other day at Arena, and someone had put like some menthol or something in the thing. My eyes were burning.
I love it when people do that.
It smells nice. I could breathe amazing, but I was blind. Totally blind. Yeah. Literally blind.
Compromise there.
Yeah, my skin was burning. I was like, I'm not, I can't do this. But I sat in there anyway.
They put too much menthol in
their
eyes, yeah.
Jeez. Like I can breathe in 3D. Like I can fucking...
Yeah.
Can't see a thing, but
Bring some goggles in with you.
Yeah.
Or I could lend you my glasses.
Your glasses.
Yeah.
Visor. Yeah.
So with all your lifestyle coaching, you use that through? Do you do any one-to-one stuff? Or you put that all through your classes? You know what I mean?
So I do.
Like, do you do any like one-on-one? Like,
so I mainly do. I do one-on-one coaching. So it's a bit complicated here, just because I'm employed by the PAC, but my the owner of the studio is amazing and very encouraging of me doing my coaching.
No, the owner's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's so good.
He's great. And so he's been very supportive of that. So I do my coaching, and then, but I always intertwine it into teaching because
it's all part of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyday life, you just use it all the time. That's the thing.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of part of psychology, basically, isn't it? It's intertwined with all that. I mean, I think there's that famous saying, more people should spend more time studying like psychology and how us humans and how our brains work and how we, function socially and all these different things, rather than spending so much time on all this other stuff. Whether it's the
technical stuff.
That stuff is important, but also like if we just understood each other a little bit better, and how we to get things done and how to cooperate with people, maybe the world would be a little bit more peaceful.
100%.
How to talk to people better, and all this kind of stuff.
Totally, and arguments come from a misunderstanding and a miscommunication, and if you realise that we all have a completely, one event is going to look very, very different to every single person based on their own internal belief systems, their values, and so if we're able to just take a step back and actually ask people, how did you experience that, rather than expect them to have had the same experience as you, then it opens up an amazing kind of dialogue and opportunity to just gain a different perspective. Yeah,
it seems to be, especially in the world at the moment, there seems to be such a sensitivity around like disagreement, and people just maybe what are your thoughts on all this? Because it seems like I think social media has a part to play in it, where you only see the algorithm just show you what you want to see or what you believe, but there seems to be such a more of a divide kicking in everywhere, and that people are less receptive to debate, to have a conversation, to all this kind of stuff. Do you see kind of a similar thing?
To be honest, I have with social media, I've just got this relationship at the moment that I'm just trying to not even indulge in it, because I know that I tend to go down a scrolling, unhealthy pattern. So I try and use it just as a platform to educate and to put classes up there. And but are you talking just generally or just? Yeah,
generally. I don't know if you've experienced that just from from people you've dealt with or whatever. Just generally what you see in the world at the moment. That is just that people, I think there's a start of a movement now with a lot of these with the podcast world. It's starting to engage people to kind of talk and hear both sides of whether it's politically, whether it's socially, whether it's economically, whatever. Just get people to start talking about stuff rather than we're on our camp and we only talk to each other, or we don't want to engage with this group. And it's like, because I remember like even when like debates was always a big thing. Like people would talk about this and that. You hear both sides of the argument, and then you make your own argument up. But it's kind of now with like a lot of social media, you just see one side because the algorithms plug it all in. Okay, we're just going to show you what you want to see, or what you believe, and never kind of counteract that. And now you've got really two, especially politically and everything else, like two massive sides of things, and in all different, whether it comes to the environment, whether it comes to, whatever. That I think, and that's why I think the podcast game is such a big area, trying to get people just talking about different stuff.
God, 100%.
And I think especially when it comes to NLP, that's a big side of it, and coaching.
No, I think to be able to open up a dialogue, and we don't need, just because we don't agree, that's okay. But let's just talk about how do you experience this, and how, like, what's your beliefs around this, and to be able to share more.
Did you play much sports when you were younger? Play sports or?
I was so bad at it. Again, fraud.
I'm only asking because I was thinking, like, when I played a lot of rugby, a lot of sports, and I didn't like or agree with, or want even with friends with some of the guys on my team. With all different sports I played. But when it came to like training, when it came to the game, or on the Saturday or whatever it was, like, we were all on a mission. You know what I mean? So like whether we hang out afterwards, and we hang out after, maybe have a few drinks or whatever it was, socialize afterwards, fine. But people, those guys I didn't like that much. I didn't agree with this guy on a lot of things or whatever. But we could cooperate and work together on something that we all believe in, or whatever 100%. It is. You know what I mean?
If you've got a shared vision and are in alignment with what you want your outcome to be, then there's like room to like compromise and negotiate and work together towards it. But if that's like not aligned, then you're never going to land on.
And I think that's what it kind of focuses more, like the world focusing on all that stuff and not the bigger vision and the missions, for whether it's for countries, whether it's for organizations and business, whether it's whatever it is. People just focus on like, I don't like what she said to me, or I don't agree with, because she's a vegetarian, like, well, whatever. But like, it's like me and my wife, like, we're total opposites. Like, she's a vegan, and I'm like a carnivore almost, you know what I mean? And everyone's like, oh, how do you guys, we've been together for 16, 17 years, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But just, but most people say, oh, that would be a key thing. Like, oh, how do you guys even eat together? It's like, well, it's pretty easy. Like, she cooks vegetables, I eat meat, and I eat both. It's like, it's not ever been a thing. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And again, for that, those people saying, how do you even do that? Well, maybe that's a really massive value for them, that their partner has to enjoy the same food as them. But actually, we all have.
Yeah, there's so many things. And that's it. It doesn't have to be. But I think, I don't know, but it probably is social media, though, where everything gets so, like, looking through everything through a straw. People aren't looking up at the bigger picture all the time. Everyone's so focused on their bubbles and what's happening in their life and what's going on now, and everything else. It's like, actually, just to take a step back every now and then.
Well, I think definitely in the last couple of years, maybe even before that, in terms of like the fitness industry, social media, it's just become so ridiculous, like so insanely, like nutrition is always like a good example. Like everyone's vegan in like maybe before COVID. Now everyone's going towards carnivore.
Jordan Peterson says he's carnivore.
Everyone goes, and then they come back this way, and then it's this, then it's seed oils, then it's and like for your average person, they're just like, I don't know what to, like, I'm a vegan carnivore with no seed oils, a raw diet. They have no clue, like, at all. Same thing like with training. It's like everyone's saying you should do strength training. Everyone's running
Pilates,
popular Pilates, blah blah blah. And the average person, just because everything contradicts and it's so polarizing. That's what gets views and people watching.
Clickbait,
In reality, there's like a few basic things, like as long as you stick to those, it's fine. It's boring. You can only say it so many times. No one cares. Like, talking about steps, it's boring. Like, talking about steps and calories is like the most boring. It becomes people's personality, but it's the most boring thing ever. But it kind of is like the main thing in terms of like staying in relative shape and healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
If you walk a bit more, you're probably going to be all right.
Yeah,
you know?
walk a
You
bit
do it
more.
consistently enough.
eat a bit
100%.
less, you'll
Yeah.
probably be fine. But like everything is just like everything's trying to kill you. Microplastics.
But you
blah,
see
blah,
all
blah.
these guys and girls who are extreme on either end, vegan, carnivore. Eventually, these guys start to lean into, I'm going to add fruit into my diet now.
Yeah.
I've heard fruit's now good for me.
I've heard.
Oh, then I'm going
yeah.
to start eating a bit of vegetables as well. And then, then eventually they're back in the middle again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
then
vegans as well, they're like, oh, they do that. And they're like, oh, actually, I'm going to start with
Eggs.
some eggs. And then I'm going to start some fish. And then they're back
Yeah.
into the middle again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then something else will come along, and they'll just go with it. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, that's what I was about fruitarian, because someone's popped up a fruitarian diet and I just sent it straight to my wife.
Yeah.
So some
Fruitarian.
fruitarian influencer, died somewhere.
Oh
Don't
God.
know.
Too much fruit.
Too much fruit. Yeah.
Like, there's this one girl. She's like, I don't know. She keeps popping up on my feed. She's like 6'5", and she just eats like bone marrow and raw eggs.
Oh my God. Oh.
And she's like, here's my food as a 6'5" carnivore. And it's like soft voice. And I'm just like, this can't be real. You're surely not eating just a bone marrow, like raw bone marrow for breakfast with raw eggs.
Snoring on
Yeah,
fire.
just like a dog. Just enjoy your life. Just come on.
know.
Like, yeah. Gets too much, I think.
Yeah.
Too extreme.
I mean, to be fair, I sound like that. I sound like those people. But no, I definitely went to like the vegan side of things, and then started eating like chicken and fish, and
Yeah.
and then I was like, yeah, I'm just a fake vegan.
I'm just not a vegan.
You know what? My wife is the only person I know who's actually been vegan for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Actually a vegan.
She's actually a
She's
vegan.
the real deal.
Yeah.
But she used to love Chateaubriand. Like, she used to love like all the meat, like, everything. And she just like, and purely just for like, she just loves animals. And just every time she thought about it, she would cry.
Oh.
No, don't ask.
Hold on. She doesn't mind them just getting mowed in the field.
Yeah,
If there's
fine.
like
I
10,000.
say, so what about all the
voles?
pesticides,
Well,
all your
what-
soy? And,
What about in a big field of soy? There's like thousands of
she said, yeah, but that
mice.
feeds all the cows.
Doesn't make sense. thousands of families of mice and voles and snakes
Yeah, I know.
and birds
And ladybirds.
ladybirds and,
Yeah.
and bees.
I know.
And then there's
And
just
she's demolishing
just
all
a
of
combine harvester
Yeah.
just mowing through,
And
incinerating.
for all her avocados.
So much water.
They have to plant all these avocado trees, kill all the natural
Destroy.
diversity, put in an avocado farm.
It's for the environment. It's
the
good.
environment,
It's
yeah.
good. Yeah.
It's okay. We don't argue about it that much.
There's no need. Much.
It's fine.
It's like, we don't talk about it that much. But yeah, I mean, she's actually, but to be fair to her, like,
Yeah, it's impressive.
she has
yeah.
been a vegan for 10 years. And you know what? She's done her bloods. She does her bloods every year,
Yeah.
blood work, and she's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just works for her.
Well, I
And
think
I'm like,
that's
oh,
it.
your B12 is going to be low. Like, and I all this.
Fuck
Like,
you.
I wow
Yeah.
her, basically.
You do your bloods, cholesterol, 700.
Through the roof.
Triglycerides are through the roof.
Yeah.
I'm nearly diabetic.
Yeah. You're like, no, my diet's superior.
My diet of just meat is way better than your diet, and she's like perfect. Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's annoying like that.
Yeah.
you know, like,
Doesn't matter what
she's
she
slim.
eats.
She can eat whatever. She's always been able to eat whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Doesn't really exercise that much, and then she's just
That's just winning.
Yeah.
she's annoying.
Yeah.
And then me, I eat like one like slice of cake, and I got like
Your face.
IBS, and then I get spots. And it just,
Maybe you should go vegan.
I tried. You know what? I tried twice.
Did you not?
I tried twice. First time I did it
For 1 hour.
Yeah, well, that's the joke now. I'm
Yeah.
vegan for 8 hours a day at night.
Yeah,
But
when I sleep.
No, I did it once. I did it once for a month. I actually think it was during COVID because I thought I was so bored. I was like, well,
May as
whatever,
well.
let's do it. And I felt good initially, and then I just lost muscle mass. I just didn't feel very
Yeah.
strong, and I just then went back. And then I did it for another time for a week, and I was like, no.
And when you went back to eating meat again, did you notice what did you notice? Like,
Brain fog gone.
really?
Yeah, mental clarity. Just felt stronger in the gym,
Yeah.
like straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away after the first meal, I ate I remember I had a steak, eggs,
Yeah, proper.
some like
Full
berries. Well, and I went to the gym like 2 hours later, and I just felt great.
yeah,
yeah.
finally.
Yeah, I could actually just move something. Yeah, I just felt, I don't know, I just didn't feel, I felt lethargic, and just
Yeah.
not very switched on.
Have you done any fasting over Ramadan?
I've done Ramadan, yeah, I've done it twice. Yeah,
For
full
the
on.
full thing?
Yeah,
Wow.
full on. Last time was a couple of years ago. That's when I was coaching quite a lot, and I remember. But yeah, I mean, like, I was up at 6 a.m. I remember the first year I tried it. I tried to do it the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way of, so you break your fast at Maghrib prayer, 6 o'clock, eat, then go to bed early.
Yeah.
You know, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then you wake up an hour before, like 3 o'clock in the morning, for eat something else.
Okay, yeah.
And for me, that just that meal at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning just ruined me. It was just too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I just eat. Then I went just to the classical way. Like now, you just do. So then I had suhoor about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then just go to bed at midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever, and then it was fine. The water's always the thing, but I found the water after 3-4 days was fine.
Yeah.
The first 3 days is tough without the water, and then after that it was okay. But yeah, now the last 2 years I haven't done it. But I fast normally like once a week normally, or once a month, something like that. I'll just do a day where I just don't eat. Yeah. But naturally, sometimes I'm just not hungry and I just don't eat. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I might give it a go for a couple of days.
Yeah, try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just to feel it, even one day. Just do a day of no water, no food. Yeah. And go through it.
Yeah, I am nervous about classes being at 10 p.m. I'm not gonna lie. It's.
You know what though, when you get there, it's fine because the music's on. Yeah. Lights on. Everyone else is doing it. Yeah. Now I found like when I'm, because now when we were, at the old place and everyone was there. You're there. Everyone's fasting. All the clients are fasting. You're just in with it. So it's easy because everyone's doing it.
Doesn't feel like 10 p.m. honestly. Yeah.
When I did the first time we were during lockdown and I did it with Charlie, like it was just me and her on our own, and we did it for like 2 days, and we're like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah, I know.
I'm actually really hungry.
There's no like drive or reason to do it. When you see all your clients going through it, they're fasting, they're struggling, and you're like, okay, out of respect, obviously. There's a bit of camaraderie, and there's excitement, right? Everyone's waiting for iftar, and we have a nice iftar together. It's like, it feels like it's easy. So when you get out there, out of the apartment or out of your house, and you're in amongst it, it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Actually, like it doesn't matter how much I don't feel like teaching in a day. As soon as I'm in the studio, it's like this switch, and you just turn it on.
What sort of tunes do you play? You playing like?
Oh, I've got like a really
rap
eclectic.
Your album, your first album.
I
first
take
album.
the lyrics off and I
EP.
just perform.
Yeah.
No, I think that I quite like kind of like
Ibiza.
Not
trance.
Ibiza. I actually quite like quite theatrical and like dramatic music with no lyrics. I love lyric-less stuff.
Yeah,
which is just like, and I love Bristowe and Fred again. And then, but everyone loves R&B, so just gotta throw that in there.
Throw that in there every now and then.
But I've got quite an eclectic taste, I would say. You'll have to one day.
Yeah, we should.
We'll have to
do a
spin.
spin.
Hey, we should film it. Do a video.
Alan's not invited though.
He'll be great, I think.
He's going to wear his sunglasses as well. He wore his sunglasses yesterday all through the...
Well, I'm all for the glasses.
Yeah.
No, we should do one. We'll do one because we do all our YouTube stuff. So Natalie takes us through.
Take us through a spin class. RWC. Yeah, that would be good.
Take us through it.
That would be fun.
Yeah, and you can just get a few people. Smash us on the bikes. Yeah,
I'm keen.
Love a spin class. I used to do a lot of spin.
Yeah,
the last 5 years, but not before that, never really. But I like it.
Yeah, I love it so much, and actually, like, it's definitely building over here. But
it will. It's going to take. I think give it another. In 5 years, it'll be huge here.
Yeah.
Once everything, it's a very different environment to what they're used to.
Yeah.
Even exercises now, like they've had about 5, 6. I mean, they obviously had gyms and stuff before, but these kind of group exercise sort of stuff is relatively new, and all the music, and I think they'll like it. They'll get into it more and more.
We used to do it for our pre-season swimming. Yeah. We used to do like more like not swimming. Yeah. So it'd be like just everything. Circuit training, spin classes, things like that. It's pretty fun.
Oh,
it's pretty
so
good.
It's so good. I just like the endorphins are amazing.
We were doing them like 6 a.m. spin class, getting good, and all the boys. Yeah.
I bring back the 6 a.m. I love the morning.
Yeah.
Obviously
gets you going for the day when you do something like that.
Yeah.
No, the earliest here is about 7, isn't it? 7:15 normally.
Yeah. 7 a.m. would be our earliest.
Yeah. No one's up here at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. I mean, now, like in Ramadan, they go into bed about 6 a.m.
Yeah. I just think how crazy it is back home. Like, people are up early. Yeah, they're in the office at 8:30 or whatever. So they're up training.
You taught in Oz as well, Sydney, yeah? That's a very early scene as well, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, the whole of Sydney is up before like
4:30 in the morning,
Yeah, you go out to run at like 5 and everyone's everyone's
doing
out.
stuff, active stuff,
Yeah,
swimming, surfing.
So good.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, and we lived in Bondi with all the other expats, and just had such a good time. But yeah, it's such a fit, healthy, outdoor, active lifestyle, and yeah, it's definitely an adjustment coming here. But I again, a nice little reframe. Like, there's so much opportunity here, and that's what's exciting. Like, yes, the classes might not be packed out right now, but that's an opportunity to kind of create that.
Yeah.
I think it will. And you guys are moving to Caft anyway, aren't you?
We are, yes.
I think that would be the right location for anyone who's doing these sort of classes.
You get traffic.
Just the density of traffic in that area, the lunch times, you'll get the morning before work. You know, like you'll get that, I think, there.
No,
it just hasn't been a density of, because Riyadh is so spread out. It's so like horizontal,
there's not really many high rises. It's very flat.
I think you guys moving there's the right idea.
I'm so excited, and as you say, like a huge opportunity for the the morning people before work, and
it'd be more like that City of London area, you know, like Canary Wharf. It's all like that, where it's just classes. Everyone's in and out of studios and classes, and like one rebel was like in Victoria Station, like 80 bikes, you know, so they're packed. You know, it's just like
I'm
crazy.
Very excited for that.
So how are you finding Riyadh and Saudi? Because you came, was it last August or something like that?
Came in August. I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, actually.
The Dust Bowl, yeah?
The Dust Bowl, it is.
That's as talk was it?
Yeah, Dust Bowl.
But I am, I'm surprised actually at how much I've enjoyed it and how quickly I feel that I've settled in. And I was thinking about it. And I think because, everyone who's moved here, it takes like, it's a big thing to move over here, and I think people are so welcoming and warming, and I think the difference here is because there's so much opportunity, it's like there's space for everyone. So I feel that everyone wants you to thrive, and people really want to connect you with people who are going to help you get to where you want to be. And I feel that maybe in other places which are the
more
market's so saturated, the people are a little bit more holding things back because they're worried that kind of lack mentality. So we've made amazing friends. I am trying to sort of recreate my favourite parts of Sydney. So every Friday morning, a group of us will go for a run around DQ and then sit out and get brunch after, and just bring the things that I love to here, and you can create the environment that you want really anywhere. But I'm happy here, excited.
Compound's good, Orient,
Love the Orient. We've made great friends there. It's fun. I always feel so naughty when I say in an adult-only compound. It sounds so cheeky.
XXX.
But it's not that wild anymore. By 8. But really happy there. It's great. I think that also the amount that we've travelled since being here is incredible. So many things on our doorstep, and
West Asia, and South Asia as well, India, Sri Lanka, all these places.
I know, so many places to go. So I feel, and now is just the time to be here, especially in kind of the fitness and wellness space. Like, it's so exciting.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of traction. I think like it's just building something like what Sport Boulevard just opening a few weeks ago. That's great. We've always said it on the show, and that will be such a great initiative once. Even now, just a small section open, it's huge. Like,
it's massive. Yeah.
Once they start, it's going to be ridiculous. 135 kilometers, whatever it's going to be. But it's going to change the city. This is the feel of the city.
Yeah.
Loads of people just active. Loads of pedestrian areas. Loads of people walking.
Same with the parks as well.
Parks when King Salman opens, especially. Like, it's just going to
give you options for your run. Yes. Right now, you got DQ.
I know, it's DQ.
When a big park opens, perfect.
I am so excited. I'm actually going to try and do that next weekend. But that is something that I probably miss the most, is the walking, and having somewhere like on your doorstep to walk around. But with these places opening up,
because Jeddah's got like the Corniche on the seafront, which is lovely. That's like you get a huge walk, pedestrian, cycle lane, everything else. But this Sport Boulevard is going to be crazy. It's going to have like so much stuff along it. It's not going to be just a cycle lane and a running lane, it's going to be loads of activities along the way, and
coffee.
Coffee, espresso every couple of kilometers as you go along. But no, I think it's really going to transform the city. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great thing that they're doing. You know? Yeah, and that's what you miss. That's what you need in the cities, like in London. You have the different parks you can go to, and, you know, all along the Thames, you know, along the front, you can run, you know, along there and walk. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be running or cycling, just walking. Just have places to walk.
100%.
You know?
No, I'm excited for that. And movement with coffee on the other side and brekkie always
is nice. Yeah.
It's much more exciting.
Yeah.
There's so many good places to eat here. There's loads of restaurants.
I know. I've eaten very well.
I mean, compared to, I know London's obviously good, and but just generally when you go outside of London, you go to the rest of the UK. It's so hard to like go out to somewhere decent and eat something unless it's like lots of these franchises like Zizzi's, and you got like, you know, so something decent. Whereas, you know, here you can, I like it. That's what we've always said.
Bella Italia, classic one back at home.
Bella Italia.
Yeah, we used to go there all the time.
Yeah,
Tesco vouchers, club card vouchers.
Love a Tesco.
That was our treat meal.
Yeah. But here you got so much choice from top end down to the low end.
Yeah, a lot of mid-range as well. Mid-range steak restaurants that are pretty good. Yeah.
You just got so much choice.
Does your wife love those?
Oh, she loves
the steak ones. Yeah. Like 7 Ribs is good, huh?
Pretty good.
Really good. Custard salad.
Restaurant. Custard salad.
It's not actually custard. It just looks like custard.
No, it's tahini, but he calls it custard salad.
Yeah,
because it's just, you get the salad and it's just a layer of, it just looks like this is tahini,
so much. Yeah, like a salad overall can be pretty boring, right? Yeah. So you have to cover it in some fat-based sauce. Yeah. And you're like, this is a healthy, delicious. It's just custard. So it's just like, it's deceiving, but it's fine.
We eat a lot of local stuff. So we go to a lot of the local restaurants, like Yemeni ones.
Have you ever been
Saudi ones
to a local?
Well, is Naj Village?
Doesn't count.
That's the
posh.
That's like the tourist one. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
We were talking in the underground, the depths.
No. Okay, well maybe I'll need to get some.
With Turkey,
Maybe we'll take you.
Especially the breakfast, the Yemeni breakfast places.
Yeah, basically these places, right? You go in. Yeah. Only men. No women, never.
Actually, I've seen a few women out.
Yeah, recently. But they just pick up and leave.
They run away.
Stinks. No toilet. You know,
it's
really good. You'll love it.
It's great. So make sure you go to the toilet beforehand.
Yeah, you can't. Not good. And you go in and then you sit down. Menus in Arabic. No idea. It doesn't say.
It has a few pictures. You just point.
A couple pictures. Okay, and then they sort of bring over some leaves and onion. That's your salad.
That's the salad. They bring a raw onion. And lemon.
Nice.
Lemon
and the jirja, the green
spicy sauce as well.
Yeah, that's your salad. That's the Saudi
your
salad.
Starter. Yeah. Then you've ordered maybe shakshuka. You know, you've had this version before. This one doesn't look like anything you've ever had. It's been basically
it looks nothing like the brunch places.
Yeah, they put it under a grill, totally obliterated it, brought it out. So it's burnt.
Nice.
But good. It's just like smoky.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So, and then they give you literally so much bread, like an impossible amount of bread.
It's the size of this table.
Yeah, huge. And that you don't even pay for that. That just comes in.
It's free. It's got no value.
No value. There's 2 types. You have tamis, which is like the more, just like kind of a regular flatbread, let's say. And then they bring like this butter bread, which is like a ghee bread.
It's just soaked in ghee.
It's and with black sesame.
You see how excited he gets about talking about this.
I'm actually ready.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then you just eat the bread. Eat your maybe liver and eggs, or you don't have to have liver.
You can have like liver, heart,
or no? Probably not.
Heart. Okay, you like heart?
Yeah. Heart is probably not something you can choose either.
You can get lamb. You
get lamb,
but it's like very strong, and it's probably the lamb is.
Is it lamb?
The lamb was found dead on the side of the road.
Okay.
They just made use of it. And then you eat that, and then you need to fall asleep for another 3 hours maybe because you're so full.
Yeah.
Of bread and it's amazing.
And they give you that little chorba, the oat soup. Thing.
Yeah.
That you have, that's just to cleanse the palate.
Just to get everything going. Yeah. And then they give you tea, which is basically sugar.
So full of sugar.
Just full of sugar, like half sugar, drop
half
of water, a bit of a tea bag.
It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Sugar and water. Yeah. It doesn't even dissolve.
No.
It's just thick syrup. Yeah.
So it just, because you're crashing, you have to spike the insulin.
Spike the insulin rapidly.
As your insulin is just, your head's through the floor. Then you have the tea. With the caffeine and the sugar, and then it just rockets you.
Yeah, and you're ready. You're ready for a day on the field.
And then you get in the car and go.
Yeah, amazing.
And then you collapse.
You collapse within about 30 minutes. Yeah,
you got to come with us.
Lovely.
We're going to do some eating stuff, aren't we?
Yeah,
on YouTube?
Be a good reaction to you just going, "What the fuck?"
Come with us, you'll be fine. These guys, they know us.
Yeah,
so.
I mean the food is good.
It actually
is good.
But we're just making it.
We're taking the piss a bit. Yeah,
It sounds
Yeah.
I'm not sure that'll be available.
And have you had full before?
What's full?
Full. It's like a bean paste.
Ooh.
Also, not selling this well.
Yeah.
It's bought. They've got a load of beans.
Yeah.
The worst to explain this thing.
They got some beans. They boiled them for
24 hours.
for at least a week,
Yeah.
and they never clean the pot, so it's just constantly
nice.
that
They
bean.
just keep throwing in more beans.
Yeah, since 1991,
Adds
those
flavour.
beans have just been being reused.
Yeah.
They scoop them out.
wine.
They just sort of throw them on the plate like that, and they drizzle this
Oil,
magical
tahini,
mix on
bit
top.
of cumin.
Yeah, and then you also take the bread.
Salt.
Go. Salt. It's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You've
it's
got to have that.
delicious.
That's a proper local dish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Full.
What's the one with the bananas in?
Masoub.
Oh, is that the like banana like
Porridge.
Bananas with bread.
bakery?
And they
Yeah.
put loads of condensed milk all over it. Just drown it.
It is honestly the most, I have
And,
no idea.
And date syrup and like they
I
just.
do love the
it's-
date too.
If
That's-
you need,
Yeah.
if you're diabetic.
24-hour energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how people eat that for breakfast.
Yeah,
I,
no,
It's insane.
that I don't even touch that because I know I wouldn't even be able to get out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Some of it's brutal. Yeah.
Okay, we need to.
Okay.
We need to.
We need to
You need a
take-
cultural experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I didn't tell you this before. But I think I'm going to tell you that I don't eat gluten
Gluten.
and dairy.
Well, can you make an exception just for one?
I will do. I dabble. As long
So
as
you're
I
a
know
fake
that I can.
gluten
I'm
free
fake.
as well. You're a fraud, gluten free
Again.
and dairy person.
I'll dabble on this.
Was there any
occasion.
particular like
Sounds
health reason for
really
that
good.
before we kill you, or is it
Well, no.
before you just die of overdose?
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely an intolerance. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's a bit of a Russian roulette. Let's say.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, I'm sure, if you just really overload with gluten,
Yeah.
you just fire the system, maximum gluten and ghee.
And then just drink that tea.
Drink that tea,
Yeah.
you just have no
You're good to
intolerance.
go.
It just totally clear.
Yeah, I think the
it'd
intolerance
be good.
would be
Yeah.
totally
Okay.
blown out of it.
Well,
Did
let's do
that
it.
start a long time ago? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually.
Was that at
I
the
mean,
time when you had the events and you're doing all that stuff?
No, that started when I was 18.
Even before that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like really weirdly. I mean, it's like probably too much information, but I was doing a ski season at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just sick every day, and
Nice.
I couldn't be bothered to do anything because I was like young, and I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I remember coming home and having like a milky coffee, and I just threw up into the sink. And my mum was like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Like,
My
it
wife's the
happens
same
every
with
day.
milk. She can't drink
Yeah.
milk at all.
I really hate
She
milk.
vomits.
Yeah. And then my friend's mum was like, you should cut out gluten and dairy. So I went from like everything to just like not eating anything. And did that for years, like pretty rigid. And now like I'm a little bit flexible and some things
Yeah.
are fine. Some things like kind of set
As long as it's not all the time. And
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I kind of decided that actually I probably make better choices with this in mind. So
Yeah.
it's nice now that I feel like I can be much more flexible and not as rigid with it. But I do notice that when I choose not to eat those things, I generally
Feel
feel
better,
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I make that choice to not eat those things for the quality, to have a better quality of life. So then you need to balance it out. If you're going to a meal and you can't eat anything,
Yeah.
like is that
Yeah, yeah.
actually
Situation.
am I better
Yeah.
off eating some so that I can
Going to an
obviously
Italian
have that?
restaurant,
Yeah,
you're going to have some pasta.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
pasta and pizza probably. Both.
Obviously. And bread, just on the side.
No, but this is the thing though. Like even with clients, like I have a client he's in the process. He was lean, put on a lot of weight, wants to get better, leaner again. And he's like he gets very anxious. He's like, oh, I'm going to this Italian restaurant, Cipriani. It's incredible,
Delicious.
And I was like, look, just put up the menu. He's like, yeah. Every time I go, I don't know what to, and I just eat everything. I'm like,
I don't know what to do, so I
that's
just
my
eat
type of guy.
everything. Yeah.
But I'm like, look, just put up the menu, on Google Maps or on the website, and I'll say, look, there's loads of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
They got sea bass.
So then he goes in prepared.
Yeah,
I always find that
still
best.
fucks it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't eat as bad as if he was unprepared.
Yeah.
Because when he's unprepared and hungry,
yeah.
then you're just
Oh,
like,
yeah,
just give me
game over.
everything.
Just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
joke.
I say, right, you're gonna have this, have prawns salad, whatever to start with, and you're gonna have this, forget the pasta, you're gonna have that, and he's like, okay, then he's fine. But I think a lot of that is just for me, is just being prepared before you go. So some people really struggle with that when they go in. And they just like, I'm so hungry, I just want to eat.
Yeah.
And that's what I found with fasting for me.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
used to do fast, like I tried when I was doing more frequent intermittent fasting, I'd just be like, I get to like the end of the fast. I was like, just give me fucking
anything.
Give me all that bread.
Yeah.
Give me all that, and I would eat way worse.
Yeah.
With fasting.
Yeah.
Unless compared to just having 2 or 3 normal meals a day.
Yeah. I'm
you know
the
what I
same.
mean?
If I'm hungry, I just inhale.
Just ravenous.
Absolute Hoover.
Yeah. Don't even breathe.
Yeah.
That's what I found with doing like the fasting during Ramadan is that I'd be so hungry, I would but then my stomach would just be so small. I get full so quickly. So you're just starving, then you can't eat properly. Then you just then I eat more. Then later on, like midnight, where then I can't sleep, and then it's the whole thing.
What's your favorite alcoholic drink?
My favorite alcohol. I do quite like.
What would you go for? What's yours?
I think I do quite like a glass of champagne.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't that, I do like an Aperol spritz.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Or a pomelo spritz.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Never heard of one of those.
I know. Well, I had it for the first time.
My sister-in-law Beth, she loves
Aperols.
She loves an Aperol
Aperol's
spritz.
good.
Yeah.
They just slip down so nice. And rum punch was very good.
Sounds like you're not fussy.
Just basically anything.
Basically,
as long as it's not got gluten.
Just give me something, and I'll be all right. As long as there's no gluten in there.
Yeah.
No beer. No beer.
Yeah.
No beer.
No.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Fiance's a beer drinker. You like beer?
Yeah, he's anything. He'll take anything.
Nice. Good.
Sounds like you.
Legend. Yeah.
I know. Well, I was trying to get him to come to one of your events, and he's like,
yes,
he likes exercise. He likes running. But
he was just drunk. He couldn't. He was so drunk. He just couldn't move.
Yeah. But I was like, you need to listen to these guys and their podcast, because I was like, I think they will inspire you to get to their event. So.
It's okay. We'll get him.
We'll get him.
We'll get
him on board. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, he's the next one's coming up soon. After Ramadan, we'll do the next ones. Because now that Ramadan starts to die down, people start traveling more.
Yeah.
People are exercising less because they're so tired.
But the classes at the studio look like they've been so busy over Ramadan.
They normally are the first 2 weeks, first 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
They're busy. The last week, everyone's just like, nah.
Yeah. They're over it.
Yeah, they're just tired. They're so tired. The clients are just, it's so tiring, because you don't fully hydrate. You don't fully eat all the time. You don't digest well. You don't sleep well.
Yeah.
You're in a constant state of just being tired and not hydrate. Chronic, dehydration, basically. 'Cause people don't generally hydrate properly, and then you got all this food in you overnight. It doesn't feel right, so people are just tired. They're so tired, and then normally something will kick in, whether it's they get a spasm, they get a tweak, they get an injury, they get ill, something will come along to force them just to stop, you know what I mean, for a little bit. So what we normally find is like the last 10 days, and then the last 10 days also the most religious part, so a lot of people just stop totally. And they go to Medina, they go to Mecca, and so it just quietens down a lot. And then it's Eid, so it's the kind of last 2 weeks, and then over Eid is quiet. Everyone travels for Eid, generally, so it's quiet. So but you got at least you got another week. This week will be all right.
Well, I've organised on Saturday. I'm gonna teach at 8 p.m. and then hopefully anyone who wants to go for dinner after will grab some food. I always like to tie movement in with
move and eat.
Move and eat. Yeah. So hopefully
fantastic.
Persuade some
you sound like the Liver King. You know the Liver King?
No.
Okay.
He sounds.
He's always like
great.
you got to do your push-ups before you eat.
Yeah.
So you got to do before breakfast, lunch, dinner. You got to do some movement. Do push-ups, work out. You got to do something before you got to earn your food.
Liver Queen over here.
Well, he's
don't like liver. Fine. Yeah.
Good. So, Natalie, thanks for coming on the show. Where can people find you? Find more out about you? What's your handle, Instagram, so we can point people your direction?
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yep.
My Instagram is at @Nat_Bristowe with an E.
E on the end.
Coaching.
Yep.
And you can find me on there. And please come and it is a women's only gym, but come find me at the Pack. Teach reformer, sculpt, and spin. I'd love to have you there. And if you're free on Saturday, come spin and let's go for dinner after.
Nice.
Perfect. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you so much.